All right, welcome everyone to the Down and Dirty at 1:30 Central. This is Vishawn Borich, and I'm so glad you're here. I've been doing these Down and Dirty hangouts for almost 2 years now, and it never gets old. So I think I'm obviously in the right digital business because I love what I do, and that's really what the theme of today's Down and Dirty hangout is all about: is finding what you love to do and finding a way to do that in a digital format. And to me, that's really the pleasure of what I get to do, because I get to work from home, I get to do things on the internet, and I want to share with you how you can find that for yourself or help somebody else find it. If you're in the same business that I'm in, maybe you're just wanting to learn, how do you help other people to take a look at what you're offering in your business? All right, so let's go ahead and get started, but let me see who's out there, who's live with me today. I like to give shout outs to all of you that are live. Oh, wow, we got a nice house of people here today. I see Rich is there. Good to see you, man. Kaya, oh, I've missed you. I was getting ready to send you a text this morning. I got stuck on a call, but I've missed talking with you. And Bridget, nice to see you. You've been very active. I love seeing your posts and things on Facebook. And Jerry, oh, great to see you too. It's been a little while since I've seen your name pop up. So awesome to see all of you out there. And for those of you that are just kind of lurking in the background and didn't log in, now's your chance. Log in. I'll mention your name if I see you pop up. If you're okay with that, you can always put a fake name in, of course, but go ahead and log in down below. It's free to do so, and you can also ask questions and chat with everybody that's live. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to flip my screen around. All right. Okay, so today I'm really going to hone in on how to know if you're in the right business, if you already have one, but also for those of you that have been kind of thinking about this, mulling it over in your mind, how do you find the right digital business for you? So I'm going to share with you some tips that I've learned and some of the things that I share with my own coaching students to help them on their journey to building their own business. As always, I do these hangouts every Monday at 1:30 Central Time, and I call this the Down and Dirty at 1:30. And my goal is to make your Mondays incredible, to give you tips, inspiration, and tools so that you can transform your life into one of joy, happiness, and doing what you love. So let's keep going here. So I like to give an overview at the beginning. So not to fail you, I want to give you the overview of what I'll be discussing today. So we're going to talk about, why online. Notice my title wasn't, how to find the right business for you. It's how to find the right digital business. So online business. I'm going to discuss with you why you should think about digital if you aren't already in the digital space. And then secondly, how to narrow down your perfect business. Maybe you're already in a business, maybe you're considering a business, but you just don't know how to narrow it down and get going. So I'm going to help you with some of those questions. And then finally, I'm going to share with you some of the best online businesses for 2016 through 2017. And these are businesses that they're not just my personal opinion, that Forbes magazine, Entrepreneur magazine, there's been a lot of different write-ups from different newspapers and things like that, have made a list of some of the best industries, the online industries that you should go into. And I want to share those with you because it might really inspire you to realize that if you are considering an online business, you are looking at the future. You're looking at something that has longevity and can literally help bring in income for your life and for the future, even your children's lives. So let's keep going. I get excited about this stuff. I hope you can feel that in my energy here. All right, I have to share with you this quote. I came across it today and I thought, wow, this really hit me. And that is, all of the world right now is undergoing a digital transformation. You're probably aware of this, but by 2020, the digital universe will reach 44 zettabytes. That's a 10-fold increase from 2013. And let me explain what the digital universe is, because some people may not know. The digital universe is anything that can connect to the internet. So that's smartphones, tablets, computers, laptops. We have devices that can connect to the internet, such as many people have cars today that have internet interfaces in them. I don't know about you all, but I have appliances in my home that automatically connect to the internet. It's kind of startling, but my dishwasher and my washing machine connects to the internet. And it even has a troubleshooter on it, so that if it gives me a weird message that it's not working, like the dishwasher did a few months ago, I can press a button and it'll send a signal to my phone that'll automatically tell me if what's broken, if it's something that I can fix. And if it's something that I can't fix, it automatically sends an email to a technician that will contact me within a few seconds and send out a technician into my home, or schedule a time in which they can come out. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it blew my mind when I saw this, that my dishwasher, and I use LG appliances, not that I'm not a affiliate of LG, but they really are a good company so far to work with, because they have such great tech support, because everything's connected. So think about that for a second. If everything in the world, well, not everything, but almost everything, keeps getting connected to the digital internet universe, how amazing is that? So if you're not in a digital space in some way, shape, or form, you're missing out, okay? And I got this quote from a writer called Bill Schmarzo, and he writes for CXO Media Inc., which, if you're not familiar with that company, they are the pulse on anything digital, anything that uses internet access. They write a trade magazine on that. So great quote. All right, so here's another one. The question isn't should you start an online business, it's when will you? You know, by 2020, and I got this from Entrepreneur Magazine, 80% of current manual businesses and jobs will be obsolete. In other words, they're going to be gone. They're just not going to be there. So I'm sure you've all seen this. I'll use an example of, you know, how a business is disappearing, a job is disappearing, and I'm sure you can think of many others. So here where I live, the nearest store, the nearest place to get groceries or anything else, because I live kind of out in the country, is Walmart. Surprise, surprise. If you're in America, Walmart is the behemoth as far as shopping centers go. And whether you like them or you don't, I'm going to use them as an example. So Walmart recently here in my little town has taken out probably half of their checkout aisles, you know, where you check out and pay for your items, and they have replaced them with digital machines, digital checkouts. So once again, it just proves that, you know, they're taking jobs away, if you look at it that way, which they are, but it's going digital. So that tells me, if you're not already digital and you don't have at least a side business that's online, there is a pretty good chance, you know, in 2020, that's not that far away, that your job might be one of them that gets outsourced or disappears because of the digital field. So keep that in mind as you look at a digital opportunity, that this is your future. And that's really what influenced me to stay in the online business, because I know it is the future. All right, let's keep going. And the future's now, right? So what is your perfect business? And I know you're probably going to read my mind here because I put perfect in quotes. There is no such thing as perfect. Okay, there's no such thing as perfect. But with that said, what I do want to share with you is how you can narrow down a great business for you based on your personality, your talents, things like that. You know, the answer to this question is different for everyone. It really depends on what you're interested in, what kind of experience you have. It also depends on if you have money to invest in a home business, for example, or how much time you have available. You may not have a lot of time. Maybe you have a job that you enjoy, but you want to earn extra money. Or maybe you want to kind of make money from your online business before you quit a full-time job. So these are things to consider when you're trying to narrow down what your quote, quote, perfect business is. So I'm going to give you a little help here on narrowing it down. So, here's how to find your perfect business. And before I keep going, or before I give you some checklist here, what I wanted to say is one of the reasons that I personally love online businesses, digital businesses, is because of how portable they are. Literally, all I need to run my business is a smartphone and a laptop computer with internet access. As long as I have those two things, I can do my business from anywhere in the world, anywhere. So to me, it's just an amazing system. And for those of us who have children, or maybe you have things you like to do, maybe you love to travel, this is a great way for you to be able to realize those dreams by having an online business. The other thing that I like about an online business is the ROI, or return on investment. There's a very low overhead with an online business, whether you start one yourself or you purchase one from another person. The cost of purchasing an online business, even like an affiliate type business, which we're going to talk more about later, is very, very low compared to a brick and mortar business. And I've used this example before, but I'm going to go ahead and share it. And that is, some of you know that I have my own martial arts studio. I teach karate. My husband and I both do. And it's something that, it's our hobby, but it's also a passion of ours. And we don't make a ton of money doing it. I mean, it's not a get rich quick thing by any means, but it's something that I really love, and we both love to share with our students. So we have a brick and mortar business, just a martial arts studio. And the cost to run that is a little over $2,000 a month. And that's just to keep the doors open, have electricity in there, heating when it's cold, and air conditioning when it's hot, and just some of the licenses and things like that. So that's $2,000 a month that we have to pay in order to do that. And that doesn't include advertising. It's a little more if I include all the advertising that we do and some of the memberships that we have with our local Chamber of Commerce and things like that. Now, with an online business, for my first online business that I purchased into about 3.5, almost 4 years ago, the cost out the door was $4,000. Okay, that was everything that I needed. I did pay a little bit extra to upgrade my computer and stuff like that. So I ended up, I think total $6,000. And then I pay on average about $200 a month for my subscriptions. And that's it. Okay, that may seem like a lot to some of you, but really most businesses that are not online, like a brick and mortar business, cost on average $10,000 to $20,000 to start. And then the overhead costs are upwards of $5,000 a month. And my little karate studio is not in that range because it's just a little place. But most businesses are well above that. So to me, an online business, it has such low overhead, and your return on investment is, how much money did you buy that business for? And then how much can you make back in order to pay the costs that you spent to buy that business? That's your return on investment in simple terms. So like with my online business, my investment was completely paid for after the first 30 to 60 days. Okay, because I made some really big sales within the first 30 to 60 days of owning my online business. Now, not everybody is that successful right out the gate. So if you just joined an online business and you've been at it for a while and you haven't made your return back, don't get upset with yourself. But I was pretty lucky, and I had some really good opportunities that came my way. But I will tell you, with my brick and mortar business, that business, it took me over a year to get my return on my investment, and I'm still paying on my investment because I have set fees that I pay to the landlord for keeping my business open. So, I mean, it just kind of gives you a perspective on how cool it is to have an online business. All right, I probably talked a little bit more detail than I intended on this slide, but it's so cool when you start to think about that. So when you get a spouse, like this is my most common thing, and then I'll shut up about this part. let's say you have a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend or family member who, they kind of shake their head at you when you say you're going to invest $6,000 to $8,000 to $10,000 in an online business. And now perspective. You say, well, look, if I was going to start a business that was in a building, I would be spending much, much, much more than I am for this online business. So, they shouldn't really balk at the money. They should look at how much you can make with it. Okay. All right. So let's get going here. So here are some questions that you should ask yourself if you are looking to determine what your perfect business is. So the first question, and I encourage you to write this down if you haven't been taking notes, is how much time per day do you realistically want to spend working on your business? Okay, now I want to give you a little caveat here, and that is when you first start a business, any business, not just an online business, but any business, you're going to put in a lot more hours per day than you want to do full-time forever, okay? Because you're getting it off the ground. You've got to build momentum. So it's not uncommon. And I know when I first started my online business, I was working, 8 to 10 hours a day, just getting it going. But after I got it going and I started seeing a return on my investment, now I average maybe 4 hours a day, sometimes 6, but no more than 6 per day on my online business. So you have to think about that when you first get started, that there is going to be kind of a crunch time, but then after that, how much do you really want to work per day? And it's possible to narrow your hours down even lower than 4 hours per day with an online business when you put some automation in place. Okay. All right. The second question, how much money do you have to invest in your business? Okay. By money, I'm talking about investing for equipment that you might need. Maybe you need a new computer to get started. Maybe you need a smartphone. Maybe you need to upgrade your internet access. Okay. You might need some subscriptions or systems that are going to help you do business online, such as an email system. You might need a website and some of the costs that go along with that. You're going to need a few tools that'll help you with your business, online tools like graphics tools and things like that if you're going to be doing some marketing. And you also need to keep in mind with your budgeting, how much you have per month to spend on advertising. Like any business, if you don't advertise, you're not going to grow. And a lot of people, they look at an online business differently than they look at a real business. Or I use the word real because a lot of people, they say, oh, you're doing an online thing. That's not a real business. Well, that's part of the problem. You've got to look at your online business as a real business too. And any business, you have to advertise in some way, shape, or form in order to drive traffic to your store, to your business. Okay, so keep that in mind. You do need to have some kind of investment no matter what type of business that you're starting. There is no such thing as a free business that is going to be successful enough where you can quit your job if you have one. Okay, there's a lot of people out there say, oh, I've got this online business, it's free to join. No, if they say the word free, I'll tell you right now, it's probably a scam. Actually, I'd say 100% of the time it's a scam, because nobody can have a business and not charge something for it. Okay. All right. So that's the second question. The third question, and this one I really got from listening to a book. I like to listen to books rather than read them. And I used to ask people, what are you passionate about? And then I met somebody who said, I don't know. I'm curious about a lot of things, but I'm not really sure what I'm passionate about. Well, I read this book, and now I just went blank on what it is. I'll post it in the chat later. It'll come to me. I'll look on my phone. It's been a while since I read it. But there is this book that talked about determining your passions, and it's really not about your passion. It's about what things are you curious about, because your curiosity changes over your lifetime. Okay, and when you're curious about something, you will keep going because you're interested in it. Have you ever been so interested in something that you just researched it online for hours and hours and hours, and then all of a sudden you looked at the clock and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been sitting here for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. If you've done that, then that's curiosity. Okay, that's curiosity. When time passes before your eyes so quickly because you're so engrossed in what you're doing and you're interested in it, that's curiosity. And those things are what you should be doing. Because if you can do it for hours and not get bored with it, if it excites you to look things up about it, then you're not going to be bored. You're going to love what you do. I mean, think about that. Wouldn't it be great if every morning you woke up and you could do what you love doing because you're curious about it? So think about those things that most get your curiosity up and that get you excited to do them because you don't feel like it's work. You feel like it's fun. Those are the things that are going to create your perfect business. All right, let's go to the next one. What is your current technical knowledge and skill set? So I'm going to say this carefully because a lot of people believe that if you have an online business, that you have to be super techie, that you have to know programming and you have to be really good at putting together websites and all this other stuff. The reality is you do not have to be technical at all. In fact, I've known many, many, many online business entrepreneurs who are not technical at all. In fact, if I told them how to build a website or I showed them how to build a website, their head would spin because they don't get it. They have spent their efforts and their time finding people who are good at the technical stuff so that they could do the things that they do best, which in some of the people that I know that have been very successful, it's in connecting people. It's in finding people, marketing. It's in branding themselves. Maybe they really enjoy shooting photos and they post those online and that's how they drive traffic to their business. Maybe they really enjoy doing videos with their smartphone. So you don't have to be super technical, but it's important to take inventory of what skills you are good at so that you don't waste time trying to figure out stuff that just frustrates you to no end and prevents you from moving forward. Does that make sense? Because so often I see someone who's so talented and they get caught up in the technology and they don't proceed with their business. They never succeed because they're stuck in the weeds, as I like to call it. Don't get stuck in the weeds. Know what you excel at, know what you like to do on the technical side, if you do, and focus on the things you like to do and find others who are really good at the stuff you don't like to do and get them to help you. And this may go into your budget, but sometimes you can find people that they're not good at what you're good at, but they're good at the technical side. So you can trade with them. You can say, hey, I'll help you do this if you'll help me do that. There's always a solution, but it helps to know what you're good at and what you're not good at so you can have a good baseline to go by when you're building your business. All right? Okay, let's go to the next one here. What does your perfect day look like? Let me explain this a little more. So, when you're thinking about a business that you want to start, think about how you want to spend your day. If you could design your life, which you can, by the way, how do you want to spend your time every day? Do you want to be working 8, 10, 20 hours a day? I don't think so. I mean, if you do, then stay working for somebody else because I guarantee you somebody else will easily let you work for them for that many hours. But if you want to work for yourself, you want to have free time and you want to be able to make a lot of money without working many, many, many hours, then you need to know what it is you really want. How often you want to work. What do you want to be able to do? Do you want to be on the phone a lot? Or would you rather have automated emails that go out and keep people informed? And you want to be able to go to the park with your children? Or do you like to travel? Do you want to have certain months or weeks that you are out and traveling and enjoying your life and seeing new places? design your life that way, and then look at the business from those colored glasses in which you see, hey, is this business going to take up all of my time, or is it going to give me an opportunity to do the things that I love? Okay, and think of that as your litmus test. You're testing it to see if this is going to be a good fit for you. And initially, you may be working your tail off and you're not going to have time to do some of those other things that you love. But if you look at your business from, okay, initially I'm going to have to do this stuff, but eventually I'm going to be able to outsource this to others. Maybe you have a virtual assistant who can handle a lot of the stuff that you don't want to do, so that you can, have that extra time in your day. And once you know what you want, you can engineer your perfect business. Okay, I know these are very vague questions because everyone is so different. I can't just pinpoint and say, okay, you need to do this and you need to do this. That's who you are. You really have to go introspective and think about what it is that makes you happy. And once you know those things, you can find businesses that fit into that mold. Okay. All right, I'm going to check and see how we're doing here if you guys have questions. Let me jump over. All right. Yeah, that's a great question, Rich. Yes, my martial arts studio is supporting itself. Actually, we're in profit. We have been for the past 2 years. We've been in business for 6 years. So we broke even the first 4 years. But yes, we are definitely doing well. And I owe a lot of my martial arts studio success to my online business. And the reason I say that is because I have learned some skills with my online business on how to market my martial arts business. Like, I run Facebook ads all the time, and those Facebook ads have literally grown my martial arts business. So I never knew how to run those until I got involved in this online business. So yeah, great question. Cool. I don't see any other. Oh, why is it we're only ones on time for this? That's hilarious. I do want to say something, and this is kind of off the cuff here, but I read an article about 3 months ago that said you should never start a live webinar on time. You should always start it at least 5 minutes after the hour, because most people are late. And if you start it early, a lot of people will drop off because they feel like they missed too much of it. So just a side note for those of you that are thinking about doing live Hangouts, it has worked. I've noticed that people stay on my Hangouts longer ever since I started 5 minutes after. So there you go, Rich. All right, I'm jumping back into the presentation now before I get completely off topic. All right, so we're going to go into now types of digital businesses. Okay, so there are a lot of different types of digital businesses that you can start. These are some of the most popular ones. So this is not an all-inclusive list. I wanted to make sure I stated that. There are many other ways you can make money online. It's a massive industry. As you know, it grows every day, and by 2020, it's going to be in the zettabyte, however big that is. I can't even wrap my head around it. Okay, so one thing that has been really popular is online retail stores. If you love retail, you like shopping, you like selling, there are some great websites out there that allow you to have an online retail store without even creating your own website. I'll give you an example. eBay, which has been around for a long time, it's still a very popular website where you can auction off products, either new products or products you've picked up at a thrift store, and then sell it for more than it's worth, or not more than it's worth, but sell it for more than you got it for, right? So eBay is a great way that you can learn that business if you don't already know how to do it. It's a great way to get started, and it's also a great way to build capital for additional online businesses. Another one is Amazon. Amazon.com has a whole section where you can start your own store on Amazon, and you can connect with manufacturers and sell their products using something called drop shipping, where they ship the products for you. There's a lot of detail you can research on Amazon stores and how to get started, but it's an excellent way to make money. In fact, I helped a local gal. There's a woman here in town in the Branson area who has a little gift shop. And about 3-4 years ago, I was chatting with her about website design and stuff like that. And she just had a gift shop. She wasn't online at all. She had no website. She had no store. And I said, have you considered Amazon? Because all of the products she sold in her little store were through manufacturers that had drop shipping available. And she said, no, I hadn't. And I was able to help her set up an Amazon store. And I'm not bragging about myself, but I wanted to share this as an example. After the first 3 months after we got our store going, she makes more per month than she ever made in 6 months of her little gift shop. Okay, so like during the Christmas season, and this was the first year she did it. She hasn't revealed her numbers recently, but during the first year that she did it, she made over $6,500. So $6,500 profit from her gift store. And in the past, the most profit she had made was like $3,000 per month. And so she was ecstatic. And this is just another way that you can make money is through online, and you can hit more eyeballs. Another option is Shopify. If you haven't heard about them, do a Google search for Shopify, and you'll find that you can start an online store in just about any niche and link it up through Shopify, which connects you to people that are looking to buy your products. So do your research, and if you love retail, this might be a type of online business for you. All right, let's move on. So another one is affiliate sites. This one is huge. And what I love about affiliates, if you aren't familiar with it, affiliates is when other people have products and you can sell their products for them just by posting a link on your website or your blog or your social media site, and they give you a percentage of your sales, of their sales. Okay, so maybe for every affiliate, they give 50% of the sale. So you can very quickly start making income off of other people's efforts. It's pretty great. So where do you find affiliate programs? Just about every retail store has them. Amazon has an affiliate program. Every little bookseller has affiliate programs. Then there's also big sites such as ClickBank and JVZoo, and that's J as in what's J? Jaguar. J as in Jaguar. V as in Victor. Zoo, just like an animal zoo.com. There's a ton of digital products out there where the people who created these softwares and digital books, they will allow you to resell their products for anywhere from 10% on up to 60% of the profits. And all you've got to do is promote it for them. Share it with your friends. And I do recommend, if you get into the affiliate game, that you actually use the product or you promote things that you're interested in. Because if you've never purchased the product and you promote it to like one of your friends, and it's not a good product, not as good as you thought it was, then you're going to get a bad reputation. So I do recommend that for affiliate programs, you own the product and then start selling it. Although there are some, like on JVZoo, where you don't even have to own it. You can promote it without owning it. Okay, you could build a whole business around affiliates. And I do want to give an example. I got another woman, a friend of mine, lives in South Carolina, and I was speaking to her a few months ago, and she loves Star Wars. Okay, she is a Star Wars nut, really into Star Wars collectibles, of course, the movies and things like that. And she found that a lot of the manufacturers that make all this Star Wars stuff, they have affiliate programs. So she created a blog around Star Wars. It's all about trivia and things like that. And then she put affiliate links around her blog to purchasing these different Star Wars products, everything from Legos to lightsabers to costumes, et cetera, et cetera. And she said that within the first couple months, she started making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month just in affiliate sales. So, wow, isn't that incredible? And one piece of advice that she gave me, and I'd like to share that with you, is if you do want to do some kind of an affiliate program, And I love this statement. She says, you want to build a specialty store, not a mall. Build a specialty store, not a mall. So what does that mean? It means find a niche, find a segment of society that you're going to market to. Hers was very specific. It's just for people that love Star Wars. Now, she could have easily created a site that was related to all sci-fi movies, right? But she probably would not have been successful or as successful because it's too broad of a topic. So if you're going to do something like she did, pick a very small market. Well, Star Wars market's pretty big actually, but pick a market that you can narrow down. And when you do that, you'll find that you can make more sales when you are specialized than you can if you're trying to build an entire mall where you have every single store in it. Make sense? Yeah, it was really a great tip, and I loved her saying. All right, let's go to the next one, blogging. I kind of gave you an example of that too, just through her Star Wars site, but blogging is a way of sharing information about any topic. So for those of you that have certain hobbies and things that you enjoy doing, I think Jerry, I think you like scrapbooking. You could do an entire blog based on scrapbooking. And in your blog or around it, you could put links off to affiliate sites or link off to a retail store, that's related to scrapbooking. And you could start making money just from doing that. Okay, so obviously it's not, there are some things you need to learn on the technical side in order to be successful at it, and especially on the marketing side. And I'm going to talk a little bit later on here. We're almost done actually, but I'm going to share with you how you can get started with some of these things very quickly. All right, digital consulting. This is a really popular type of online business, and that's basically what I do. I have learned a lot about a lot of different things when it comes to digital. So what I like to do is I have companies that hire me to put together a digital marketing plan. I have people that hire me to be their coach, to teach them how to grow their online business. So once you become an expert in something, you can start consulting people online. And you can literally consult with people anywhere around the world. I actually was on a phone call this morning with somebody from Australia. I was walking them through how to set up their email marketing campaign. And I tell you what, it's amazing to realize that you can have a conversation with literally anyone in the world in this digital time period. The way that I spoke to this person in Australia was we use Skype. So you can get on Skype, you can use other digital platforms such as Zoom and Google Hangouts to talk with people and help them with whatever it is that you're an expert in. And make sure you price yourself accordingly. You're not going to price yourself at minimum wage. If you're doing high technical digital consulting, you're going to price yourself somewhere between what this is how I price myself, okay? Somewhere between what a lawyer would charge and what a person who repairs your car would charge. I learned this from my mother of all people. She said, if you're doing specialized work, she said, you should never price yourself lower than what the going labor rate is for a car mechanic, okay? And you should have yourself somewhere in the range of what a lawyer charges, a legal consultant. And I thought that was really good advice because so often we underprice ourselves, especially as women. For those of you that are women on here, women tend to price themselves very low compared to their male counterparts. So don't make that mistake. You are important, and this is a business, and you should treat it as such. All right, so we're almost done here, but I wanted to share with you the best online businesses for 2016. Okay, and I got these from Entrepreneur Magazine and Forbes. Okay, so here's a short list of some of the most lucrative online businesses that you can start right away. One is selling educational products online. So these would be digital products that teach somebody how to do anything. Okay, it doesn't have to be a college education. It could literally be anything. People are spending $10,000 to $20,000 to take a course online. All right. People like the flexibility of learning online because they don't have to go into a classroom setting. They can do it from home. So if you want to grow a business, think about things that you could teach or affiliate programs that you could share that are in the educational field, right? The other one, audiobooks and ebooks. Ebooks have been popular for a while, especially with Kindle and devices like that where you can read on your tablet. Those are growing all the time. But audiobooks are the latest thing that are really taking off in 2016 and 17. People like to listen to books. They can listen to them while they're driving, while they're commuting to work. They can listen to them while, like me, like while I'm cooking or doing laundry. That's how I listen to all my books. So you can get into that market. Do some research on how you can, create books and then read them. Read them aloud. Get a mic for your computer, record yourself reading it, and then upload it to a book website where you can start selling your audiobooks. Pretty amazing. All right, other ones we just talked about, digital marketing consultant. As you become better and better at online marketing and things like that, you can market yourself to companies who have no clue how to do social media marketing. And this is something that I've learned and many of my students have learned how to do very, very well. So people will pay or command high dollar for an expert in this field. Content-based websites. Everyone is using the internet to research. And some of the best content-based websites are blogs. If you have a specific topic that you know very well, which just about every one of us does, we have at least one topic that you know better than most people. Start a blog about it, or collect content from videos and things like that that other people have produced, and post those on your blog. There's nothing wrong with sharing other people's content as long as you attribute where you got it from and that there's a link that goes right back to that person. Okay, this is a great way to collect information on a very specific topic that drives traffic to your site. It's kind of like that Star Wars, my friend that did the Star Wars website. This is a great way, exactly what she's doing. She has a content-based website for Star Wars fanatics, and people are coming to it in droves. Okay, there are many more sites, but these are the top 4 best online businesses to start in 2016 and 2017. All right, so here's the last part I wanted to go into, and that's how to get started, because everybody's like, okay, that's great, Vashon, I'm glad you shared this with me, but I don't even know how to start. So I'm going to share a few tips with you on that as a bonus to this presentation. But before I do, let me see if there's any questions out there, comments. Okay. Well, Bridget, thank you for your comment. Oh, cool. Yes, that's a good tip, Rich. Create a site for each of your interests. Yeah, if you have a lot of different interests, break them up. Have a site for your Jeeps and things like that, Rich. I know you are involved in Jeeps and anything dealing with Jeeps. You could have a site for that. You could have another site for your online experiences, and on and on. Obviously, it is going to be based on your time. You may not have enough time to do every interest, but pick the 2 or 3 that you can denote time to and stay focused on that. All right, so here's how I recommend that you get started in building your own online empire. Okay, so the first thing I would suggest is research affiliate programs that make sense for you. Like if you're really into gardening, get out there and research affiliate programs related to gardening. Maybe there's some really cool products or digital books and things like that that you could promote on a gardening-based website. And JVZoo and ClickBank are 2 of my favorite. There's a whole, it's like a shopping center for affiliate programs. That's what those sites are. And you'll see when you get out there, you can even promote your own products there if you get to the point where you create your own. The second thing I recommend is to join a direct selling company. Sometimes this is called a multi-level marketing company, MLM, as we call it in the industry. And a lot of people have kind of a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to direct selling. But I want to share something with you. Direct selling is one of the quickest ways to, number one, get an education. To get an education on online marketing and how to sell and how to work with people and how to build a team. You can learn that in any direct selling company. Some of them obviously are better than others, but do your research. And direct selling companies are touted in many by many online authors. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you haven't read any of his books, I highly recommend them, number one. But he has a chapter in there. It's all about direct selling and how it is a major way for you to start making really good money and building for your future. So look into that. And what's nice about direct selling companies is they offer products and services that's already in a box. So it's like a business in a box. You don't have to create all your advertising and capture pages and all this other stuff. They give them to you so that you're ready to get going right away. Now, by give them, I mean you purchase your membership into a direct selling company, and then you get access to all of these different tools, which you then can sell others into the business by having them buy the products from you, or have them join a team so that you guys all help sell the same products and services. So check those out. There's a lot of places online that you can look at. Just look up direct selling, MLMs. There's even a resource I stumbled across. I think it's called MLM Ranking. Do a Google search for it, MLM Ranking. It lists the most popular direct selling and MLM companies by month. So you can see which ones are really taking off, and it might be a good fit for you. All right. Another thing is to explore online retail sites like eBay, Shopify, and Amazon. If you already enjoy those sites, learn how you can sell on them as well. Instead of being a consumer, look for ways that you can be a seller. And there's plenty of information out there on how to do it. You just got to look for it. And one of my favorite ways is YouTube. Do a YouTube search for how to sell on Shopify and see what you find. And then this is my favorite way to get started. Contact a mentor. And preferably you want one that's in the field that you want to go into. This is how I got started. I reached out, contacted a mentor who was doing online marketing. I thought that sounded interesting at the time, and they taught me what they knew. They did happen to be a part of a direct selling company, which I joined, and I was able to grow an online business because of that mentor. Since then, I've branched out. I still am a member of a direct selling company, but I've also branched out into many other fields that all relate to digital consulting. And I highly recommend, if you're interested in doing what I do, reach out to me. It's not going to cost you anything to just have a chat with me. I do free consulting for the first 20 minutes. And then if you decide you want to use me as your mentor, there's a number of ways that we can work together. Some of them free, some of them paid, of course, because I am in business. But I'm happy to help you and teach you what I've learned that has helped my own business to be successful and could help you as well. So finally, I wanted to give you my website. If you're probably already on it, if you're watching this Hangout, but you can see some of the affiliate programs that I belong to by going to teamtough.com and then clicking on tools. There's a link up at the top that says tools, and you'll see what I'm all involved in. If any of those look interesting to you, click on the link and you can learn more about it and see if it's a good fit for you. And of course, if you are interested in mentorship, you'll see up there's another link that says coaching. Click on that and you can book a free 20-minute call with me. And it's just me on the phone, you and I, no other groups are on there, it's just you and I. And we'll chat and I'll ask you some questions and help you so that you can get your feet under you and start building the business of your dreams, or expanding one that you already have that maybe just hasn't taken off the way you'd like it to. All right, I'm going to flip my screen back around so we can end for the day. All right, I hope this has been helpful for you. I'm so glad that so many of you joined me today in my Hangout. I'm going to see if there's any other questions. Okay, yeah, I got your message there, Rich. I'll get back with you afterwards. So, yeah, Kaya, Jerry, Bridget, Rich, If there's anything else that you want to ask, feel free to comment down below or get in touch with me personally. Send me a message on Facebook and I'll be happy to answer your questions. And if you invited somebody to this hangout, be sure to, if you're watching and somebody here invited you, contact the person that invited you. Ask them what they're doing. How did they get started online? Because you'll find that all of us, we work together, we come together to help each other, and I believe in helping those that are here with me on the Down and Dirty. So with that said, I hope you have a great week, and we will see you not next week. I'm going to be out of town. Heads up for you guys. I will not have a Down and Dirty next week. I will be in the air flying. I'm going to Vegas for a big conference. So I will see you the following week. So we'll have to skip a week with that. All right. Take care, everyone. Make it a great week. Bye.